Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Steve. Boy, oh boy. I have a few things to talk about today. Number one, I heard Skip Bayless's top 10 players. This will probably be the main video. I heard Skip Bayless's top 10 players of all time. And the fact that this man doesn't even have LeBron James in his top 5 just shows you how much of a hater he is. It's not even that he's being real and he's, actually thinking that LeBron is in top 5. He's just being a hater, a troll. He wants attention. There's no way in hell anyone in their right mind can sit there and tell me that LeBron James at this point in his career is not the best player of all time or the second best player of all time. There's no way in hell at this point in his career that you can sit there and tell me that someone else deserves the number 1 or number 2 spot besides LeBron James. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Skip Bayless, how is LeBron? Okay, now I understand you may not think he's the best player of all time, but how is he at least not the second best player of all time? I mean, can we acknowledge, how is he not the second best player of all time? Why is it that I have to do this once every 6 months, Skip? Once every 6 months, I have to sit up here and explain because some people actually listen to what Skip says and believe him. So I have to sit up here and say why LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. Now, most people nowadays believe LeBron James is the best player of all time. There are still some people, mostly the older people or really young kids that don't really know much about basketball, like those same kids that make those stupid YouTube videos that say, "What happened to Carmelo Anthony?" Let me see what happened to Melo. He's 15 years pro. Do you expect him to still average 30? And then they say, "Oh, you're not LeBron," but then they hold him to LeBron standards. Like Tupac said, what does the world want? The world doesn't even know what they want from people. All right? So, I can go on all day about that part, but listen. Here is why LeBron James is the greatest player of all time. First of all, let's rewind. He needs a team to win. Remember, that's what everyone says. But when you look at Michael Jordan's record without Scottie Pippen, without Dennis Rodman, without their stacked team, he's 1-9 in the playoffs? Now listen to the double standard and the hypocrisy that these Michael Jordan fans have for Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Listen to this. They say Michael Jeffrey Jordan didn't need help, but the only reason why he's 1-9 without Scottie Pippen is because the Boston Celtics were stacked. So therefore, it is smart to conclude that Michael Jordan needed help to get past the Celtics, right? So now let's look at LeBron James. LeBron James, 08-09, 66-16. A stacked Orlando team. He loses in the conference finals. 09-10, he loses to the Boston Celtics. Okay? 8 straight years in the NBA finals. He had the ability to get past the Eastern Conference teams mostly by himself. The only time he really had help from Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh was 2011. Then they all fell out their prime, and LeBron did choke in 2011. All right? But they say LeBron needs help to win a championship. He needs a stacked team. But these are the same people that say the Celtics were stacked, so how do you expect Michael Jordan to beat them by himself? Do you see the hypocrisy, the double standard that goes on by Michael Jordan fans? And I'm not hating Michael Jordan. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He's the second best player to ever play. He's just no longer the best. That happens. You got to get over it. That's like me sitting here arguing. Do you still see me making videos saying Carmelo Anthony is top 5 like I did last year? Do you still see me making videos saying Carmelo Anthony's still the 3rd best player in the world? You gotta move on. You gotta move on when you realize that time goes on and no one could beat Father Time. That's it. You gotta move on. I accepted that Melo is slowed down and he's out of his prime. All right? But I will sit here and I'll say this. He's still one of the clutchest players in the league. Let me say that. I'll still take him over everyone except LeBron James. Let me say that right now. But on a serious note, LeBron James Well, actually, let me go back. Before Michael Jordan, it was Bill Russell as the greatest player of all time. After Bill, it was Kareem. After Kareem, it was Michael Jordan. Okay? And then some people were saying it was Kobe for a while. Now, most people don't think Kobe's the greatest ever. I don't, but I think he's the third best player of all time. That's besides the point. But now it's LeBron. We're not talking about in the world, we're talking of all time. 20 years from now, there's going to be someone else that's going to have the title of being the greatest player of all time. Okay? And then 20 years from then, 40 years from now, there'll be another player that comes along, and there'll be another player better. And then people will look at Michael Jordan and LeBron James the same way we look at Kareem and you know, Magic and Larry, just historical basketball players. That's what's going to happen. That happens. All right, that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. But that's what happens. So LeBron James, I'm sorry to say this to all Michael Jordan fans, but LeBron James is the greatest basketball player in NBA history. Simply is. All right? I really don't even have to do this because I've done this so many times. You know, if you want an in-depth video on why LeBron is better than Michael Jordan and why he's the greatest of all time, you can go ahead and watch my other videos where I explain it. Like, it's titled Why LeBron is Better Than Michael Jordan Part 1 and then Part 2. I literally sit there and I explain it. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check that out. But I will sit here, I give you like some basics on why LeBron is better. First of all, in my opinion, after the 2016 NBA Finals, there's someone watching me, but I don't really care. After the 2016 NBA Finals, to me the debate was over. After the 2016 Finals, the debate was over. You see LeBron James come back against the greatest regular season team of all time, the first unanimous MVP who won 50, 40, 90, had the best regular season in NBA history. And he comes back, and what happens? He wins from a 3-1 deficit. First team to ever do that in NBA history. All right? So when we're talking about LeBron, we're talking about a man that's in his 15th year, who was drafted alongside 3 of the top 50 players to ever play basketball. But yet he's the only one remaining that's still dominating. Now, Melo still has a chance if the OKC Thunder can, you know, step it up. In terms of how long they lasted, it was Dwayne Wade was the first one to go. Then it was Chris Bosh. Now it's mostly Carmelo. He's still there a little bit. It's just we need the Oklahoma City Thunder to start winning. He's still there a little bit. And it's LeBron, 15 years pro, still averaging numbers that a 22-year-old would average. We're talking about someone that's 15 years pro, that's the best player in the league. So for anyone to sit there and say he's not the greatest player of all time, you know, I can go, I know if I don't, people are going to get upset. And there's a lady right next to me, but it don't matter. I know if I don't do this, look. I know if I don't do this, what are you watching me for, lady? I know if I don't do this, people are going to say you don't have an argument. So I'll just lay it out briefly like this. LeBron James is about to go to what, 8 straight finals? 8 straight finals for a total of 9. This man legitimately has a chance to go to 10 straight NBA finals. We've never seen domination like this in NBA history. People say the Eastern Conference is weak, but really, you know why it's weak? Because of LeBron. You think about all these star players in the Western Conference. Why do you think they don't want to come to the East? When was the last time we had an NBA superstar come to the East? Carmelo Anthony. And what happened to him? He couldn't get past the Miami Heat. Who was on Miami? He couldn't get past LeBron. We're talking about someone that averaged a triple-double in the NBA Finals. We're talking about someone that's 6'8", that can play all 5 positions, defend all 5 positions, play the point guard, pass the... We're talking about the greatest all-around player of all time. Skip Bayless says this all the time. LeBron's definitely the greatest all-around player of all time, but Michael Jordan's the best ever. Does that make sense? First of all, logistically, from a logic standpoint, if you're going to sit there and tell me LeBron James is the greatest all-around player of all time, so therefore, by definition, he is the greatest player in NBA history. Just simple as that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you're going to say someone's the greatest all-around player in NBA history, he is the best player in NBA history. Now, when you add his achievements, 3 NBA titles, 4 MVPs. You know, the man, I mean, come on. And for Skip to not even have him in his top, what was he, like, number 6, 7? Like, are you serious? Skip is really crazy. This man, Skip Bayless, really has a problem with LeBron James. Really. And it's a shame because, is my camera done? Okay, I thought my camera was done. It's a shame because, you know, it's like, come on already, man. Give the man respect where respect is due. But that happens. 20 years from now, it's going to be someone else who's going to be the greatest player of all time. So I'll sit there and I'll say this. I don't really care if you think LeBron is the best or the second best. That's besides the point. The point of this video is to say, if you don't even have LeBron as your top 2 ever, then there's something wrong with you. That would be like me saying Carmelo Anthony, and y'all know how I feel about Melo. Like, I'm like his boyfriend. Like, I'm in love with this guy. I'm obviously joking, but you guys think I am, right? You guys say, oh, Steve, you're gay for Melo, whatever. So if you don't even have, that's like me putting Melo in my top 5 of all time. Like, are you serious? You know, so if you don't even have LeBron James in your top 2 ever, there's something wrong. Something's wrong. Anyway, man, it's been your man, Steve. Had to do it to him. I'm out here, man. Peace.